Hi, I'm Dog, and welcome back to the Utopia Baseball League. We're at the end of April. I wanted to just give a quick rundown of Key West, the Big Easy, and the UBL. In Key West, we closed out the month with a really good run. We are on a 9-game winning streak, including sweeps of Chesapeake, Nashville, and Raleigh. One thing that's really surprising about Key West at this point is, as you know, we historically have had great pitching, great defense, and lousy batting. And we ended the month of April at the top of the UBL power rankings. That's crazy. Key West, really? Well, in the prior week, Nashville was chasing BC for the top of the power rankings, and Nashville just about fell off the charts this week. Their bats went ice cold, as you can see. Meanwhile, James Dalton continues to lead a surge of Key West batting. It's redonkulous. Key West pitching and defense remains fine. Not as completely dominating as it was last year, but fine. Bullpen ERA is great. Starter ERA, okay. Francisco Guerrero got hammered his first starter too. Starter ERA is fine. Kevin Adams had a start. Mark Hicks has had a few starts, and they didn't do too great, but we've made some changes. Batting average, we're not accustomed to seeing Key West in the leader boxes for batting average. Nashville, as you can see, is the Eastern League leader in home runs, and Key West actually held that spot last year, surprisingly. So a big run explosion. Roger Green's on the bench. And I guess this guy right here, James Dalton, not that guy. He's not our guy. James Dalton just has kind of taken it over for Key West. He has powered our team to a 20-6 record, best in the UBL. Simply unconscious. Back to the scores and schedule. Nashville had a terrible week. Nashville went 0-7 this week, and they are, I think, 1-9 in the past 10 games. Yeah, they lost their series to Charleston. Charleston's playing really well, and Nashville is in a bit of a tailspin. My guess is because of injuries. The Isotopes have had some serious injuries of late. Rodney Harvey from the rotation, and Arturo Navarro and Arturo Bernard, the two Arturos, who are pretty much at the top of their hitting, I think. Let's see. Let's go to batters. Well, you won't see them because they're now they're now on the disabled list, but yeah. So Nashville is still led though by Todd Glass and Mike Barlow and Alfredo Soto, and V-Mart is a completely dominant rotation ace, and yeah, great. I remember the pro was approached many times in the past seasons about trading V-Mart, and he rejected all these proposals, and for good reason. V-Mart's the rotation ace for the Isotopes. Pat Rose continues to lead the Isotopes in RBIs and home runs, but his bat has fallen into a slump. 217. And I think we were all kind of wondering when that would happen. He's an old guy, and yeah. The Isotopes. This is the kind of batting average that Key West is accustomed to seeing. We're not accustomed to seeing this kind of stuff. This is ridiculous. Look at this. James Dalton 409, Rick Roll Hamilton 308. The dude can hit. I knew he could hit. He didn't hit last year, but in prior years he has hit above his contact rating. Rodney Duncan having a strong resurgence, still coming back from injury. Last year's stupid season-ending injury that he took on like the last day or next to last day of the season after we were out of contention. And Juan Lopez, Mr. Consistent, hitting 333. Ramiro Gomez has his batting average up to 278 after last year's slump, coming back off that broke leg. Jerry Armstrong 281. What else? Russ McLean has been a bit of a disappointment to us. The Duck Hunter, right now I've got him platooning, and he's coming in as a late inning sub. But you can see he's hitting overall 215 with 1 homer and 8 ribbies. Not the kind of performance I expected out of Duck Hunter. He's still bringing a great defense, and he can slide over to second base and play second when he needs to. Mark Combs has been in a pretty much a season-long slump after that first week, but he seems to be recovering some. He had some multi-hit games this week. The big news for us this past week is injury to Matthew Canio. He tore his meniscus in his knee, and he's out for 3 or 4 weeks. You can see I put him on the 15-day DL. Todd Carpenter went out earlier this year. He finally had his great chance at the UBL after waiting for a couple of years. Last year I kept wanting to pull the trigger on him and bring him up. Did not. Finally did this year, and he's on the roster for a few days and then goes out with an injury. Other than that, Carpenter is fairly easily replaceable. It's not a big problem for us. Green, big problem, but with the acquisition of Dalton, not such a big problem. Canio, we're just going to work around him. His bat will be missed. His defense will be missed, but Jerry Armstrong will slide over to third, and Rick Roll Hamilton will move over to second. If I need to, there are guys in AAA and AA I could bring up for second base. I don't anticipate needing to, though. Dalton is just red hot. Last 5 games, he's hitting .545 with a homer and 8 RBI. That's ridiculous. Fernando Beltran is a new acquisition. You can see he's in the past 7 days he went 1-0 with an 0.96 ERA for us. We got him from Lancaster for a marginal pitching prospect who had great movement, but low stuff and low control. And you pretty much have to have about a 45 stuff and a 40 control to make it and be successful in the UBL. With a 40 control, you're going to have days where you walk people and walk in runs. A 45 control is much closer to my comfort zone. But the prospect we traded really didn't project to have that kind of control or stuff. So Jason Piper is this guy. He's like Kurt Schilling. He would pitch from his hospital bed if it came down to it. He's back from yet another injury, but I don't expect him to last a whole lot longer. Mark Hicks has been moved into long relief. You can see by his ERA he has not done well this season. He's up and down. When batters zone in on him, they can rock him. Otherwise, he does pretty well for us. Jose Hernandez is doing well. He spent last year in AAA, but a few seasons ago he led us in saves. I think it was 2014 when Jason Piper went out with his first major injury. Gonzo is doing pretty good as a setup guy. He was our closer last year, and he's been moved back to setup, and he's doing okay. He has his ups and downs. Manuel Cruz has been almost cruise control for us. He has been touched a few times, but he's got big league stuff, and he's still improving. What an acquisition that was for a shortstop prospect with Chesapeake, and that prospect is pretty much busted. I think Chesapeake also got a 4th or 5th round pick out of it, but yeah. Our rotation now has changed. Francisco Guerrero and Ramon Ramos are Roman Ramos, I keep getting his name wrong, are our top 2. Jack Johnston surged up last year. He's our number 3. These 2 are temporarily switched, but we're basically starting most rested arm instead of following a strict order. Jose Cantu and Carlos Gonzalez came over this past week from Louisville. We got them for our 2nd and 3rd picks of 2019, plus some current starters. Let's see where they at. Louisville. We sent over Luis Roman. He did not do so well in his first start for Louisville, but he gave up 2 home runs, I think, and four earned runs total. But I think he'll be fine. He'll settle in and eat innings for Louisville. We sent over Daniel Rat Sanchez, and he's doing fine. He will settle in. He has a low whip. He'll settle in and do fine for the Louisville Pen this season. He's a low service guy. He's 31, but he's low service, and he'll be available for a while. Luis Roman also is cheap. He'll be available for him and get the job done until they gradually upgrade the pen with their draft picks and prospects. All in all, we've had good trade with Louisville. You can hear my dog Jimmy Sue on the floor behind me snoring. Louisville. Another trade with Louisville was we acquired. Let's see if he's even listening. Robbie Williams, second base Robbie Williams. He's tearing it up in Durham, 294, 388. Not hitting for power, 368 slugging, but he's contact and batting average. And I think his power will come around. I really like this guy. I think he's going to step up to the plate for us. He's probably ready to come up now if we needed him. As is Richard Woods. Dick Woods is he just bossed it up everywhere he's been. He's 4-1 now in 6 games in Little Rock with a 2.87 ERA, a low whip, and I was earlier looking at trading Yankee Kane for. Congrats on your high school graduation, by the way, Yank. My son just finished his high school graduation, so that's an exciting time. Best wishes to you. Best of the summer and what lies ahead for you. We were looking at, I don't know why this came over me, but I was looking at trading. I really like Tomas Cano I really like him at Raleigh. You can see he's rocking a 2.31 ERA despite playing for Raleigh. Despite the fact that Raleigh is 5-21, that explains why he has a win-loss record like this. I was even looking at a package of Cano and Noguchi, but I had forgotten I traded away my draft picks and sold my soul to Louisville basically. And but I like Cano, but Woods. I went back and looked at Woods, and he is very, very similar to Cano. Maybe a tick slower on the heater speed on the radar gun, but he's fine. Man, I didn't want this to be all about. Good night. Look at our minor league teams. All in first place? No. 1 game behind. Oh, they're all 1 game behind in second place. That's awesome. Interesting. What else? Jose Cantu. Oh, man, he was on my short list for a long time. I can't believe he became available when he did. I jumped on him, and Carlos Gonzalez has a pitching profile much like the Romulan. I think Gonzalez does very well in Key West. Very, very well in Key West. Very happy to have these 2 guys on my staff. It gave me the chance to move Hicks full-time into the bullpen and spot starting, and gave me the opportunity to demote Kevin Adams, who has fallen off the cliff. Adams had 2 little tic-tac like 1-day and 4-day injuries. You wouldn't even call them an injury in the bigs. You just call them just need a little bit of rest, And but that caused his stuff to fall from like 50 to 40. So I'm kind of ticked about that. Adams was the boss for us last year and year before. I'm really sorry to see him blow up. He was a 3rd round pick, or 3rd round, might have been 2nd round. The same year we got Guerrero, and I was really proud of Adams, but oh well, it's been real, man. But now I'm very happy with the rotation. We got 5 really strong guys: Guerrero, Ramos, Johnson, Cantu, and Gonzalez. I am very happy with the rotation. For the first time in maybe ever, I'm very, very happy with the rotation. And Howard's happy with the rotation. The only problem we got is Ramos is coming into an arbitration year, and as is Green. And, I keep trying to negotiate with both of them, and I can't afford what they're asking, and they are not buying what I'm offering. So I kind of hope against hope that Ramos and or Green goes into a slump. I don't know. I probably would just go with Arb on both. They're both fragile. I'll probably just stick with Arb for as long as I can stand it. Although I think it's an inflated, salary. But we'll just go with that for now. Anyway, try not to worry about it too much. I've been trying to move Ramiro Gomez to free up some salary space. But Gomez, he's a fan favorite. He's been a Key West fixture. He's the best bomber you never heard of. And I'm very happy to have him on my staff. He's a really good corner outfielder. And he can play center field if he needs to. So, I guess that's it. Nashville fell off the cliff, went 0-7. They still are in command of the wild card race. Charleston had a great week, went 5-2, and have surged up into contention in the wild card tie in first place in the wild card. Richmond and Chesapeake are having surprisingly down years. I really thought Richmond would take Madison in the ENI this year. Let's go look at the standings. Yeah, Madison has righted the ship. They were hovering around 500 for a while, but they got hot. Went on a 7-game winning streak. In fact, they were 10-9 last time we talked to them. And just like us, they won 7 in a row. Yeah, they're playing well again. Madison always finds a way to play well. Raleigh is tanking it pretty hard already. Harder by far than anyone. So, yeah, than anyone. Lancaster surprisingly has fallen off the cliff. Gator made some moves, and I thought they'd be competitive this year. But he approached me for a prospect earlier this past week, and I realized that he was already in plan-ahead mode again. Portland has underperformed. Don't know what's up with Portland. Winnipeg finally caught BC. Tijuana leapt around Oklahoma, surprisingly. The Cabronas just have a few people on their team who are just ridiculous. Vegas has fallen into a tie for second with Oklahoma. They're both playing about mediocre 500 ball. But I like the moves that Vegas has made in the offseason and in the on-season. Salt Lake City continues to have stupid injury problems. Salt Lake City and Richmond, you said it right. They're just cursed. That's just all there is to it. They're cursed. Now, if you look at the quantity of injuries, Madison's had its share. We've had our share. Nashville has certainly had its share. I think Roberto Canales is injured about every other time I look at the list. But Richmond just hammered key people at the worst times, it seems. And Salt Lake is just unrelenting. We have actually the injury logs, and we should probably do a little bit to investigate those logs and do some clear analytical work, cleaning them up and investigating length of injury and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do that if I get some time today. In the West League, it's a horse race between Winnipeg and BC. In the Southwest, WSW, Who knows? I picked Tijuana to win that again, but I think Oklahoma settles in and makes a strong run for it, as does Vegas. So three horse race in the West Southwest. Portland, I think Portland can turn it around, but the way Winnipeg and the Brawlers are playing, I don't know, Portland. You have your work cut out for you, especially since there's no interleague play this year. I counted, we have 6 series with Nashville, so plenty of time for there's going to be plenty of time for these 3 teams to dog it out over the year. I'd be very happy to see my team continue to play, have 5-2 weeks, occasional 4-3 week. I'd love to have, obviously, more wins, right? 7-0 weeks would be awesome. But I fully expect Nashville and Charleston, especially Nashville, to continue to pace us, and I don't think we're going to run away with this division this year. Louisville has tanked it, and they're not going for the 1-1 like Raleigh does perennially, it seems like, but they're definitely in rebuild mode. And in the East Northeast, I don't know. At this point, I think Richmond and Chesapeake can both turn it around, and I don't think Madison's going to continue to play this well. I just don't know if I see these guys getting closer than 5 or 6 games throughout the rest of the year. So, let's see. In the wild cards, right now, Nashville and Charleston. Richmond and Chesapeake could make a run for the wild card. I think Louisville and Raleigh, we can count those guys out. Over in the West, we can count out pretty much Salt Lake and Lancaster, and probably Portland. The wild card has Winnipeg, BC. The only team not in the wild card, of course, is Tijuana here with a clear lead. Realistically, BC or Winnipeg is on top of the wild card. So it could be Winnipeg's big chance, and could be our big chance, or Nashville's this year, possibly even Charleston. What else do we want to look at? Last year, Pythagorean, we were like -6 for Pythag. I don't know why we underperformed so bad. It's just one of those years. This year we're doing pretty good. Pretty good in basically all categories. We have 0-1 in extra inning games. Nashville is 1-2 in extra inning games. We'll just have to see how that goes. We're playing surprisingly well at home this year. Better at home than away, which is we never play better at home. But I don't know. I guess these guys are liking Margarita Field. Our batting profiles are growing more customized to Margarita Field, and our pitching staff, I think, is improving a bit. Let's see. The Pythagorean race, we're 4 games up instead of 5 games IRL. Charleston is 13-13. They're 2 games over Pythag, and Louisville is dead on Pythag. Up here in the East Northeast, Madison is actually 2 under Pythag. Down in the West Northwest, out in the West Northwest, BC is actually performing 4 above Pythag, so they might be living on a bubble. Winnipeg, you might take that division. I bet it on you last year. I probably was a year ahead. And in the West Southwest, Pythag, everybody's playing pretty close to Pythag. Las Vegas is 3 under Pythag. Pythag projects they should be right there near the top, fighting close to the Tijuana. This might be the best race in the league this year, West Southwest. What else? Let's see. Newspaper. I'm in shock about this weekly tower. Oh man, unbelievable. Tough break for BC. You can never feel too sorry for the AI, but Hector Bajorquez, I remember when this guy was drafted. You can see Howard is all over this. He loves this guy. 2014 round 2, pick 15. I just didn't have enough picks to get all the great relievers, and BC got a good one in the late 2nd round. Hector Bajorquez. A good one. I guess that's going to do it, guys. You can see last week Nashville was at the very top of the power rankings. We were third, and I guess that's yesterday's news, right? Skull Hoover continues to be awesome. I'd like to have him on my team. He was on my short list seasons ago, and of course the Aces are never going to let him go. He was a Red Stick Raider at the time, and I thought maybe when he was AI controlled, AI would cut him loose, but no such luck. No such luck. Alrighty. Alright, well that's I think that's going to do it. Yep, that's going to do it. We're at 25 minutes, and I've rambled enough. And let's see, anything else I can take you out with? News log, injury log. Nothing much, honey. Nothing much. Alright, guys. Well, that's going to do it from Key West. Oh, I guess there's one more thing we can talk about. Let's look at where's all players? List all UBL players. One more thing we can talk about here, and that is injury history. Wanted to point out there's another player joined the ranks of the Rex this year, and in searching through the list, here they are. Woody Dixon was purchased by Rad. Todd Ruffin just became wrecked. Terrible to hear. Winnipeg had the worst best sim ever. If we include retired players, although he ain't retired, you can see that Armando Henriquez shows up as wrecked. I wonder if we uncheck retired, what does he show up as? Where is Henriquez? Henriquez. Does he not even show up? Oh, he's a minor leaguer. That's why he doesn't show up. He's a minor leaguer. Alright. Well, that's going to do it, guys. From Key West, I'm Dog. I'll talk to you next time.